Welcome to the Light Up Podcast. I am your host, Amy Wilkinson. I'm an intuitive guide and soul mentor. And through this podcast, you will receive conscious conversations, powerful downloads, and soul-stirring activations that will both support and inspire you to tap into your intuition, follow that higher calling, and live a life aligned with your soul. Because you are here to co-create a life rich in abundance, freedom, and deep joy, and to unleash who you truly came here to be. And we're here to help you discover how to access that. So let's dive on in and light up. Hello, beautiful. Welcome to the Light Up Podcast. I am your host, Amy Wilkinson. It's lovely to have you join me wherever you are listening to this from. It's nice to be able to connect through the airways. And I hope that you receive this transmission and it just meets you where you're at in your life right now, because you've obviously selected this episode for a reason. And so I really welcome you in. It feels very cozy where I am right now. And so I feel like really diving into what is sitting here on my heart. And the reason it feels cozy is I'm in my office. I'm in Australia, Southern Hemisphere. So I realize that if you're in the Northern Hemisphere listening to this, it's probably a beautiful, warm, sunny day. And it's just feeling more broody outside a little with the rain falling down and the wind. And I'm having my dandelion tea, which I am loving at the moment. And I'm opening up this transmission and feeling into the ways we make life a lot harder than what it needs to be. I want to have a conversation about this, and I want to start with the question that I ask my clients often as well. What if it gets to be easier? What if it gets to be easier? So here's the thing. I've spoken about before that we are conscious, co-creating individuals. We at least have very much the capacity to be that when we are in alignment and when we are allowing our soul to lead us and we're in our truth. The problem is quite often, very naturally, we buy into the illusions that we have been conditioned to believe in. And these illusions create a paradigm that we are in based on largely the thoughts that we've been thinking, the beliefs that we've been believing, the feelings that we've been feeling. And a lot of that comes from our past conditioning, from our upbringing, from society, from the external world. And all of that comes together to create, let's say, a software program in our being that's wired into our being that creates limitations and paradigm. And what I want to invite you to believe, to expand your capacity to understand right now, is that we are creating all of that, and that we have the power, the immense power, because we are energetic beings having a human experience, because we are tapped into at any time, at all time, the divine, greater consciousness, universe, source, God, whatever you want to call it. Undeniably, we are an aspect of that which we come from. And so we have this beautiful thing in life and in this human experience, which is called divine sovereignty. Life responds to that. It responds to our dominant core frequency, and it responds by saying yes. Now, our frequency is made up of the thoughts that we are allowing ourselves to think, the beliefs that we're allowing ourselves to believe, the feelings we're allowing ourselves to feel. The reason I'm using the word allowing is quite often we put a cap on it, we put a limit on what we allow ourselves to receive, because we've been conditioned to be married to this idea that in order to achieve anything, in order to accomplish anything, in order to receive, we got to work pretty damn hard at it. Things need to be hard. We got to hustle. We got to strive. Maybe we need to make some sacrifices. Maybe we need to be realistic. Like, these are the kinds of programs that we have operating. And so life is responding to that. If we are believing that, let me give you an example. Unless I'm working hard, I'm not making money. If I want to receive any more money in my life, I need to work hard. I'm and that's just looking at money, but this could apply to any area of your life, be that work, relationships, money. It's all the same in terms of it's all part of a frequency. And in order to really begin to expand and begin to co-create a new reality for ourselves, and one that feels really good, and one that feels really aligned with our soul, and one that really lights us up, we need to be able to start to take stock and look at, what am I allowing myself to believe? And is it even true? These thoughts that I'm thinking, these feelings that I'm believing, these beliefs that I'm believing, is it even true? Is it even mine? Where did it come from? So often we are replaying beliefs and replaying thoughts and statements that we've perhaps heard our caregivers say in our upbringing, or a school teacher, or someone that we worked for, or something that we've heard on the news, or whatever. I mean, we are at a time in our life where we are being literally bamboozled more than we ever have before with information and opinions and shoulds, right? And what that means is that as humans, we are shooting on ourselves all the time. I should do this. I should be more like this. Blah, all of it. Honestly, unless we are consciously self-directing our mind, self-directing our thoughts, which, by the way, you can do, these thoughts are lies. These thoughts are not true. These thoughts are often not even ours, not even resonant with our truth. How do we know? How does it feel in you? How does it feel when you say that statement? How does it feel when you believe that thought? Does it feel like truth in your body and your heart and your soul? Or does it feel like you're just replaying it? And so I love to explore pattern breaking, where we go, you know what? If I want to shift onto a new timeline, into a new reality, I need to be able to really become conscious in, what am I believing to be true? What am I allowing myself to believe? What's the paradigm that I'm stuck in? Because if I'm not conscious of it, I guarantee you, we just continue to create the same reality. We continue to be governed by our energetic set points in the different areas of our life. So if you're wanting to attract in a new love relationship, or uplifting, inspired friendships, or a level of wealth that you have never experienced before, we need to go beyond the set points that we have created, the ceilings that we have created for ourselves. So here are a few things that I want to share that I feel like offer really good core foundational elements to support your growth in these different areas, to support you to begin to reach for a much higher branch than what you have been. And this is what I am inspired and committed to doing as part of my dharma, as part of my soul purpose, is empowering growth and up leveling and expansion and deep, deep soul aligned abundance in the lives of those who I work with. And hopefully this podcast inspires that as well. So we need to be able to start to give ourselves permission to dream a new dream, give ourselves permission to write a new script entirely. If the reality, if the life that you are living in is not one that is deeply lighting you up, is not one that you feel is completely fulfilling you, and you know that there is more, and you know that you have the capacity to call in more, because we all do. We all have the immense capacity to live a life that we desire. And that means, first of all, allowing yourself to tap into what you desire, because our desires are like little clues along the way. They're like gifts and guidance from our soul. I really believe that. So allowing yourself to play and explore with, what is it that I would love to create for myself? What is it that I would love to call in for myself that doesn't need to be limited by my current circumstances? Because your current circumstances are just based on your paradigm. And now we're shifting out of that. We're shifting into the new paradigm where you get to choose your thoughts, where you get to choose to not believe in the limiting thoughts and perceptions that are just keeping the things that you want away from you, where you become so conscious of where you're falling asleep at the wheel that you go, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm actually not available for that level of belief anymore. I'm actually not. It's not true. And awareness is the key. Awareness gives us that ability to throw that out. I kind of think of it as a computer program in our system, and it's outdated. It's outgrown. It's not actually functioning in the way that it needs to. And so we've got to turf that out. We've got to control or delete a lot of the shit that comes through our mind, because it's false. It's false and it's not true and it's not serving us anymore. And we need to be able to let it go. The shit that is just hanging around that is not for us anymore. Why do we have so much trouble letting things go? Drop it, clear it, control alt, delete it, and then we get to upload a new program that is based around new beliefs, new core beliefs that actually feel really good. And there is no one sitting up in the sky saying it needs to be this way, right? If we come back to some of those beliefs of like, unless I'm working really, really hard, I'm not going to receive what it is in my bank account that I feel that I'm worth or that I desire. Like, nobody has set those rules to go, that is so. Life is creating that for us, sure, if we believe that to be true. But what if it could be easier? What if you could decide that it's possible another way? What if you decided that you could work less and earn more? What if you decided that you can attract your soul relationship in right now? What if you decided that you could be at home with your children and also earn money? What if you decided that you could buy the home right now, or that you could make the move out of your town, or you could, whatever it is? What if you decided you are now available for that? So here's a few little foundational things that I feel really help when you're on this path. Number one, knowing and believing like you know, like you know, like you know, deep, deep, deep in your cells, that you are fucking worthy. And I really wanted to use that fuck right there, because, oh my God, do we limit ourselves in believing that our worth is just because we are, right? That we are worthy just because we are, just because we exist, just because we signed up for this human experience. That our worth is not conditional, that it's not based on what we're doing, our identity, or what we're achieving. It's got nothing to do with that. But our worth is because we are. We are deeply, deeply worthy. It is conditional on nothing. Full stop, period. Can you feel your worth just because you are a living, breathing human having this experience here, or you are an energetic being rather having a human experience? You are tapped into the divine. So you are divine and you are worthy just because you are. That's number one. What if you were to believe that? What if you were to feel that? And then the second one here, the second really core principle here to lean into is faith and trust like you never have before. When we lean into faith and trust, we can let go of so many of the thoughts that are ruling the thing, that are running the show, right? Our core frequency is based on what we think, what we feel, what we believe to be true. When we understand that no matter what, we are guided, we are looked after, we have support, immeasurable support beyond what we could conceive with our logical mind, because we are a soul, because we are a part of the one divine consciousness that has created all that there is. And so much when we are so in our humanness, right, which means that we're so into the separation, we buy into the illusion of separation. We think that we're doing it alone and that we have to figure it out, work it out, solve it, make it happen. All of these thoughts, lies, lies, lies. You don't need to make anything happen. You don't need to figure it out. You don't even need to know the how. The most important thing, your most divine sacred priority, is to tap into your soul, and is to allow your soul to lead you and show you the way, because that greater, vaster consciousness that you are collaborating with when you are manifesting, it knows what you don't know. It is tapped into the miraculous. It is the miraculous. So wouldn't you rather believe into faith? Wouldn't you rather lean into faith and allow that energy to move through your work, with you, show you what you need to see, bring into life things that you couldn't even imagine possible when you tap into faith? So that is a incredibly worthy pursuit for you to cultivate. And what are the things, what are the practices that help you to feel into that, support? Is it yoga? Is it meditation? Is it walking in nature, being out in nature? Is it dancing? Is it mantra? Like, what are the things that tap you back in? Is it a prayer practice? Okay, like I see my manifestation practice, and I've been doing this consciously for over 20 years. I see it as like a moving prayer, moving through life with a knowing in my heart that I'm always guided and looked after. So investing your energy in that rather than the thoughts that are coming through the mind is a deeply, deeply worthy pursuit, my friends. So faith and trust. And believing that anything is possible. Not being limited by old, outdated beliefs, turfing them out, upgrading them, and asking yourself, what could be more true? Right? If you hear a belief and you're like, hang on a minute, I think that's bullshit. Where did that come from? Right? Maybe when I was younger and I've heard my dad saying that, or an uncle, or my boss, like whatever it is. What could be more true? This is when we reprogram in new beliefs that excite us, that expand us, that are creating our new reality. Okay. And then the last kind of foundational supportive practice is the practice of gratitude and celebrating that which you already have manifested in your life, that which is already around you, and also that which is still coming into form. Okay, knowing that nothing is created or destroyed. Everything already exists in this quantum field, and we are simply lining up with it. Gratitude is a way that we elevate our emotional state, and it is one of the most powerful ways to do that. And remember, our feelings are magnetic. So when we elevate our emotional state by tapping into that which we're grateful for, whether or not it's arrived in your life or not, you allow yourself to become magnetic so that you can call in that reality into the 3D. You can 3D print that reality when you come back into this space of gratitude and of celebration that it is already done, that it is already here. Because in the 5D realm and in this quantum space that we manifest in, Time doesn't exist. There is no time. So when we are celebrating, it's showing to our subconscious, even if it hasn't arrived, that we know it is there, it is done. Okay, so really, really powerful, this celebration practice and this gratitude practice. And then continuing to ask yourself as you are reclaiming this new, evolved identity, right? That identity of you who knows he or she is deeply worthy just because they are, who knows that they are always looked after, that life is always supporting them, who knows how their beliefs inform their reality. So they are only available for the beliefs that feel really expansive, and you get to choose what they are because you're the scriptwriter. And who is so in gratitude for the way their life is unfolding in alignment with their highest timeline. And that, my friends, is just, I hope it lands in a place that feels really grounded for you, that feels like, you know what, this is an incredible springboard for me to then create, because I know there is so much thrown around manifesting, but unless you are grounded in these inherent principles, unless you are really tapping into the vibration of those things, it feels disconnected. It feels more like a thing that we need to do in steps, and I don't subscribe to it in that way. So, this is just some of the work that I am exploring more deeply and more powerfully and intimately in the different containers that I have. Light Path Collective, my membership one, like if you are not a part of that, my question would be why not? Honestly, because there is so much value wrapped into that and having the ability to come together. But even if you can't make the live calls, to be a part of the transmission that gives you tools and practices to become more self-aware, to become more conscious of the way that your mind is ruling, to deepen and develop a relationship with resistance and fear, that you know how to move through it rather than let it hold you back. And most importantly, to be able to access your higher timeline, your highest timeline, and being aligned with your soul. This is just some of the things we do in that membership. And there's a 2-week free trial, so you have nothing to lose. If you're curious, come on in. You get access to the replays that we've already done over the past months. You get access to the subliminals and the meditations and the EFT practices, which are all here to help you raise your vibration so you can manifest a life that you love. Also, I do want to mention my beautiful, powerful joy retreat that's coming up in November in the Tweed Valley. I've also got Bali next year. Retreats are such a powerful way to take care of yourself. And when you take care of yourself, it's like you show life, you show the world how you want to be treated. But it's a beautiful way to connect in the flesh with other humans who are of a similar vibration, because I feel like anyone that comes on my retreat is like hand selected by the divine. And there's always such a beautiful resonance with the other humans that come along. And this one in particular, November, it's going to be joyful. It's going to allow us to tap into feeling states that maybe we haven't for a while. And then we create from that place. The accommodation is stunning. The food is next level amazing with Burberry Whole Foods. The venue, the facilities, and having this beautiful pool and ice bath and hot tub and sauna. It's just going to be amazing. So we've still got some rooms left. If you want to come, I'm going to pop all the details in the show notes. Or if you want to work with me more intimately, where you get 3 months access and we meet every fortnight and it's you and me together. We look at how you can expand, how you can elevate in who you are. It's a real whole beautiful shift in your identity, which is the work that needs to happen if you want to create a new reality for yourself. So that's called the call to expand. And I only take on a small number of people that I work with. There is an application process, but if you are feeling the call in any way and you resonate with these conversations, I really invite you to gift yourself this space and time, because it is so handy. It is amplifying to be able to have a mentor who can work with you, who can see some of those blind spots, who can help you to move beyond the paradigm that we get so conditioned in and stuck in. So that's where it's at, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I am sending you so much love, and I really love sharing from my heart. So I hope that that is felt. Please share this episode if it resonated with you. Pop into my DMs on Instagram if you want to have a conversation about it, or email me. And I would also love it if you would review the podcast on the platform that you are on, or follow along. And I look forward to connecting with you next time. Lots of love.